Hello everyone, I hope you're all doing well. I'm Jordan. So let's talk about that Joker scene at the end of the Snyder Cut. So obviously there's going to be spoilers throughout the video, so if you haven't seen this film, don't watch the video. Go watch that film. I understand that not everyone has probably seen it yet. It's a long film, it's 4 hours, probably the longest film I've ever seen. And you might want to cut it in half, watch it throughout the day. People have busy lives. You probably don't have time to watch the 4-hour thing in one go. You might want to split it up into parts because it's sort of split into chapters. You might want to watch it sort of like an episode of a series and just watch it throughout a couple of days. Just make sure you watch that before you watch this because a lot of spoilers. Okay, this is not a review. It's just me talking about that one scene. Obviously, I'm a big fan of the Joker, as you can see here. And I have said it before, but if you're new, then you don't know that. Big fan of the Joker. That's why I'm doing a separate video about him. He deserves it, in my eyes. So let's get started. I love his introduction into the scene that he's sort of sarcastically laughing at Mira. Because Mira is saying to Batman, I'm going to kill Superman with Aquaman Mother's Trident. I don't know her name. I haven't seen that film. I don't know much about Aquaman anyway. Or any DC characters other than Batman and Joker and a few other of the Rogues Gallery. She wants to kill Superman because Superman killed Aquaman. And Batman's like, yeah, I get that. I get that Superman killed someone you love. I understand your loss and that you want revenge. You want to kill the person who did it. But you can't. You can't give in to that. We got to stick to the plan. Now, us as viewers don't know what the plan is. I don't know if this was explored in comics or anything. But I'm pretty sure we don't know what the plan is. I assume that they want to try and redeem Superman. Turn him back to their side. Don't know how they're going to do that. They might try to resurrect Lois. I don't know how they would do that, but they resurrected Superman, so I know that he is Kryptonian. I think that's what it's called, right? I'm showing my real lack of DC knowledge here. I'm so sorry. I'm ashamed, I know. But I'll tell you, this film has made me interested, not just in the Joker stuff, but in all of it. I was very pleased with the film. I'll save that for the review. Anyway, so obviously, Lois died. She was from that earlier Flash forward scene where Cyborg is interacting with the Mother Box to resurrect Superman. He gets a flash forward from the Mother Box, and that's where the Joker card is floating through the wind. It's ripped in half, which we'll talk about that later because that has importance as well. Because they're both nightmare scenes, but they're different from each other. They're both different possible futures. Unless that future scene is after the end future scene. This is what I'm just thinking of now. I'm a bit sidetracked. But I've heard people say that they're two separate ones. But with what transpires in the end scene could be before what happened in that earlier scene, and we're seeing the aftermath of that end scene, of that interaction between them characters. Do you know what I'm saying? You might not agree, but this is what I'm just thinking of, because I'm thinking Joker talks about these very specific things. These things have happened in that first bit we saw. Could be linked. Could, I think so. They could be two different things, two different timelines. I think they could be linked, It reminds me a bit of Tony's vision in Age of Ultron, where he saw all like the Avengers dead, Captain America's shield broken, that sort of thing. Because Superman's holding Batman's cowl. There's a Green Lantern guy dead. I don't know what the Lantern guys are called. Green Lanterns, lanterns. I don't know. Okay, don't judge me. And obviously, back to my thing of where it could be linked. Superman met them. And Superman's bad at that point, remember? And, okay, Mira's like an Atlantean, pretty powerful. Cyborg's pretty powerful too. Flash, pretty powerful. Deathstroke, he's pretty powerful as well, but probably not as powerful as the other three. Batman's probably in a similar vein with Deathstroke. Joker probably doesn't stand a chance at all because he's similar to Batman and Deathstroke. But he's gonna annoy Superman. You know that's gonna happen. He's gonna push Superman too far. Well, literally, Joker could say one thing to Superman at this point and it'll probably push him too far. It wouldn't take a lot. So, it doesn't look good for him. Joker card being broke, the cow. I think we see the Trident there, the Hall of Justice. That's probably where they wanted to go. And maybe Superman killed them after that interaction. See what I'm saying? It's starting to make sense now, right? Anyway, back to where I was originally. I don't know how I got that sidetracked. That just, I don't know, the puzzles just in my brain just fit together. And I was like, oh, that's what I think. I'm going to say that. And then I said it. And I forgot about what I was talking about before. Oh, and yeah, so I was saying, Mira's like, I want to get revenge on Superman for killing Aquaman. Batman's like, I understand, but you can't do that, okay? We've got to stick to the plan. Maybe they want to try and resurrect Lois. I could see that. I don't know how they would achieve it because she was bones. So I don't know if it would be possible for them to resurrect Lois. And if it was that easy, couldn't the Flash just go back in time before she died and then stop her from dying, right? Instead of whole resurrecting her, I don't know. But anyway, I don't know how they're gonna resurrect her because she's like charcoal bones. You know, she looks like Uncle Owen and Aunt Beru. It's quite a dark joke and a Star Wars joke. Let me off. But she does. She resembles her. So Joker just pipes in. He's just laughing. He's like sarcastically laughing because he knows how much Batman has lost. And he's like, I just love the way he's acting. It's very Jokery. Suicide Squad Joker, it didn't feel like the Joker, but this did. It was like, au contraire, fish sticks. He knows all about losing. Like, you know, a father, a mother. And Batman's like, be careful what you're going to say next, because he knows what he's going to say. And Batman's just full of empty threats with the Joker. Like, this isn't a criticism on Batman, but I just know that most of the things Batman says to Joker is an empty threat. He's just going to try and throw him in Arkham. He's not going to kill him most of the time. So it is just full of empty threats. And then he's like, or an adopted son. And that one hit hard, didn't it, to Batman? And then he was like, maybe the smelly Flender is right. How many people have to die who you care about? And then Batman's like, well, that's not very careful now, is it? And he's like, well, how many dead eyes do you have to look into before you are dead inside yourself? And then I love it because he's just like, I've been dead inside a long time. And I just love it's on their faces, just back and forth, back and forth. It's like no one else is there. There's a bunch of people there. It's a serious moment. Cyborg's like on the edge because he's like, Superman's gonna find us. He's got this like heat vision thing. He's gonna find us. We're out in the open. This is not a good place to hide. Literally, there's no buildings anymore. There's no cover. It was beautifully shot. Like all the camera angles were good. And obviously this annoys Batman, and Batman's like, oh, if you carry on, I swear to God. And he's like, well, what are you gonna do? He's like, he just interjects. He's like, I know you ain't gonna do anything. What are you gonna do? You're just giving me empty threats here, okay? Stop lying to yourself saying that you're gonna kill me because you're not. I'm your best friend. And besides, who's gonna give you a reach around? Now, I don't think he meant it like that, okay? I think he meant you have as much fun with our little game as I do. You know that. You lie to yourself about it. You deny it, but you love it as much as I do. That's why you keep me alive, because it's so fun to play this game. Doesn't matter who else gets hurt. A lot of people get hurt, but it's a fun little game we have. I really want to give props to Jared Leto here. Maybe I'm getting too excited about this. You know, everything to do with the Joker is important. Every word he says, how he says it, the way he moves while saying it, how, you know, every nuance is important with Joker. I mean, it doesn't always have to be, and sometimes you could see it in places where it's not necessarily in places, but it's like poetry, the way he speaks. There's certain ways he says certain words in a certain way, in a certain order, that he could say one word and it means something more than just what the word means. And then he says, besides, you need me to undo this mess that you made by letting her die. And then he's himself saying, oh, how she suffers, putting on a voice. He doesn't care. He's loving it. He finds it funny, you know? And that was cool. That was good. It was a good thing to see. It makes you happy. And then he says, I wonder how many different timelines you have destroyed the world because you're just not brave enough to die yourself. Meaning that, possibly with the Bat family, he gets them to do the dirty work, they die. He doesn't suffer the same consequences they do. Maybe it's something the Joker is just seeing and it's not actually true, but that's how the Joker looks at it, to be honest, and I think he believes that. Batman is too scared to make the sacrifice himself, and he just deals with everyone else dying, and it sort of makes him stronger in a way. That's how I saw it. And I loved it when he said, but like always, I'll be the bigger man. It's just one of them Joker comments, one of them side comments that are just so perfect for the character. It really hits the nail on the head, Like, I don't know quite how to describe it. It's just sort of like, it's so over-exaggerated because we obviously know that Joker is not a better person than Batman, which makes it funny because he's acting like he is. Do you understand what I'm getting at? I don't know if I'm explaining myself so much, but it's just one of them funny things. So it makes it look like the Joker is actually sort of willing to help Batman, or he sort of came up with the idea, or he initiated the truce, He's the one who came to Batman willing to help him rather than Batman asking Joker for help. That's what it looks like. It might not have been. The Joker might be just like bragging about it, or like just bigging himself up more for being good for once or helping. And what they did so well with this scene is obviously is quite later on in the whole Batman and Joker career, I guess you would say. Like they've been fighting each other for years, and it really shows how well they know each other. And it's sort of like they're an old married couple. Because normally in like the DC films with Batman and Joker, we normally see them at the start of their relationship. Like with Jack Nicholson or with Heath Ledger. It's right at the start of their relationship together, It is nice to see it like near the end. And like there has been a long history with these two characters, which I think most people know that there is a long history and what it involves. There's probably loads of people who don't know, so they might not really quite understand it as much as other people would. Because obviously we haven't seen these two incarnations of these characters much together. We haven't seen them fighting each other. It's just from all the stuff, from all the comics and stuff from before, it implies that all of that sort of stuff happened. And it was really cool to see it. It would be nice to see these two, go at it for ages, and you see how it escalates and how their relationship develops over time. That would be pretty cool. But I just love the sense that there's like a long history between the two characters, and they know each other really well at this point. And they are acting like an old married couple, bickering and, upsetting each other. And he does like a magic trick. He blows into his hand and a card appears between his fingertips. And it's very cool, very cinematic, very theatrical. And then he rhymes a bit. He's like, a truce, Bruce. And this is what I'm saying. Everything he says and how he conducts himself is very important to understanding how he is feeling, what he's trying to say. Because he's saying stuff without even saying stuff. Or saying stuff and that means something slightly different because of how he's saying it. And basically he's saying, as long as you keep this card, there will be a truce. So I guess he will help him in some way. Who knows? Maybe he will sacrifice himself to Superman. I don't really understand why the Joker would do that. It doesn't seem to be in his characteristics. And I would say, Joker's probably loving all the chaos. And the only reason I would understand him wanting to help is because he's not the one who caused it. And Darkseid is. And maybe eventually all these people will turn into parademons and he doesn't want to work for someone else. And maybe the way the Darkseid did it just wasn't as fun as the Joker would do it. And maybe the Joker just wouldn't go that far because then he wouldn't have anything else to do. Probably he has a lot of power. He's like the king of the nightmare world or whatever. But once he's got it all, it's not fun anymore. He doesn't want to have it all. He wants to work for it because working for it is more fun for him. So maybe he just wants to stop Darkseid for that very reason, so he could do it. Maybe it's taken Batman away from him and he's a bit jealous. Or I think by helping Batman, he just won't get in the way as much. You know, like he might not actually do anything to actively help the new Justice League or whatever it would be called, the Nightmare Justice League. I don't know what they would call that group of heroes. But he might just, you know, like stay out of the way and not hinder the heroes like he would have. Because, you know, he normally just hinders people. If he's not the main focus, he still gets in the way, and he's like the annoying sibling who just will keep poking at you over and over and over again. Like you're doing something important. You know, you're doing some homework or whatever. You're trying to concentrate and they're just poking you for no reason, just because they want to. That's the Joker. And I think that maybe he's saying like a truce, and like his help will be that he won't be annoying or a hindrance. That your sibling will stop poking you and just let you get on with doing your homework. So it doesn't actually necessarily help you in a way. He's just taking his own hindrance away from you. So, you know, like someone else, you wouldn't have that issue. And he is the issue. You know, like he is the hindrance. But other people might not have that, so it wouldn't affect them. But because he's hindering you, he's helping you by taking away himself from hindering you. I don't know if this is making any sense or if I'm getting my point across, you know? It's like if you're doing your homework, that's one thing, right? But if your siblings don't annoy you, that's helping you in the way without even helping you. It's not actually helping you with what you're doing, it's just making it easier for you to concentrate on it by yourself and get it done by yourself. Like they wouldn't need to help you in that way if they didn't do it in the first place, but you know it's in their character, so to them it's like they're being nice by not hindering you or bothering you in that way. And I really love this shot because it goes all blurry and out of focus on him, and he's like all sporadic and all over the place, all crazy jokery. He's like, if you get rid of this card, you can tear it in half, and then I'll describe to you in any way you want to why you sent a boy wonder to do a man's job. And when he says that, it just focuses on his face. It's not blurry anymore. His face is just plain. He's not sporadic. He's just like this, holding the card. I will tell you how I killed your precious Robin because you were too much of a coward to come yourself. He didn't stand a chance, and you sent him like a lamb to the slaughter. I really loved how his face just went plain. It was so cold. It was so sick and demented and evil. That's like, it was just so evil the way that he was looking when he, you know, admitted that he killed Robin. It was just, there was no emotion. He looked so evil and so psychotic, and like, I'd say he looks like a sociopath. Now, from what I understand of what a psychopath is and a sociopath, is that a psychopath doesn't know that they're hurting people, whereas a sociopath does know it, but they don't care and they enjoy it. They're doing it on purpose. Do you know what I mean? I think I'm right in saying that, which I would say would apply to the Joker a lot more than him hurting people without realising. He definitely knows what he's doing and he enjoys it, which makes him a lot more sick in a way. The blank expression on his face was just so cold and so evil. I just loved it. It was numb. There was no expression, no emotion, and it just fit so perfectly that there was all of this crazy stuff going on, and then it just stopped. You know, he went serious, and that was a very good bit of acting from Jared Leto, in my opinion. Just because he could have said it in a different way, in a more jokey way, or that, but it made it a lot more serious and uncomfortable to watch because of that, and that made it so much more interesting and gripping and cool. Just that face was just incredible. It was insane. You know, he just doesn't care about human life at all. He has like no regard for it, and it has no value to him. Like, he doesn't understand how much life is worth, or he just doesn't care. That's what you get from his facial expression. Because he hasn't told Batman how he killed Robin, I think that's why Batman keeps him alive and hasn't killed him yet. Because it's one thing knowing that the Joker killed Robin, But we all know he brutally tortured Robin. Robin thought that Batman didn't care about him. Robin was alone. He died thinking that the Batman forgot about him. However, it's a little bit different. I heard that they're going more for Dick Grayson being the Robin that dies instead of Jason Todd. I don't know how I feel about that. Dick seems to be, from what I've seen at least, sort of Batman's favourite Robin. Like, he was the best Robin, the most sort of like Batman himself. He was smart, he wasn't so angry as Jason. You know, he had the years under his belt and could potentially be the replacement for Batman in the future, you know, become Nightwing, all of that. So I guess he doesn't in this universe. Maybe Jason does. But with his characteristics, I don't think he'd really fit being Nightwing because he's so angry and stuff. He would have to get that under control. But it's one thing knowing the Joker killed Robin, and it's another thing for him to describe it, say what he actually did, how he tortured him, describe how Dick felt, describe how he enjoyed killing him. And you'd love to see it. I know Bubba Talk said that he would have liked it if like a crowbar went across the screen when he was saying it, like a knife slash. I don't think I would have liked that. I thought we would have got a flashback to him killing Robin. We didn't. And if we did, I would like to see it fully, not sort of abstract. This film was a 15, it was pretty violent in some places. I think by them not doing anything, and that means that they want to save it if they can do it in the future and do it right. Because if they just did that, then it sort of confirms that they're not going to go into more detail in that area. I think they wanted to see how people would react to this and then go on that. You do want him to tell Batman and sort of have it as a flashback of him killing Robin while Joker is talking to Batman about it. And I did think we were going to get more of him describing what he did to Robin. That's what I took from his interview with Vanity Fair, you know, the article that I was reading in the other video. Maybe that was a mistake on my part, expecting that. I might have misinterpreted what he was saying, because obviously it makes sense that he didn't say it now, but I thought that's what we was going to get. That's what I really wanted. But I don't think if they just did that, that would be enough. And it's interesting because Batman sort of does a Uno reverse card, and he's like, it's funny, you know. He's taking a leaf out of the Joker's book here. He's like, it's funny you talk about all the people dying in my arms, but when Harley Quinn was dying in my arms and she was bleeding out, and she was saying, when I kill you, that I gotta do it so slow and painfully and enjoy it. And make no mistake, I will effing kill you. And then the Joker sort of, he stops. I mean, he sort of doesn't know what to do. And then his hand starts shaking. And then he's like, you're good, you almost got me. Now, I don't know why he reacted like that. I don't think he was playing. I think his emotions got the better of him. Now, we don't know how Harley died. Did Joker cause it? Was Joker not there? Are they broken up at this point in time? Or are they not? Maybe he's jealous that she ended up liking Batman more than him. He might have not liked it that he couldn't be able to control her anymore, because obviously he had complete power over her. You know, he would treat her really badly and she would still do anything he told her to do. So maybe he didn't like that. Maybe someone else killed Harley while they were still together. There's definitely sensitive thing with Joker and Harley. Maybe he doesn't admit that maybe in his own twisted and sick way that he does love Harley, even though he doesn't show it. Because obviously she broke up with him. He didn't break up with her, so he wasn't in control. So I don't think he liked that very much, and that's quite a tender issue for him. I don't think he was intimidated by what Batman said. I think it was more about the Harley thing than Batman threatening him. I didn't take it as a serious threat. I don't think the Joker did either. I don't think even if Batman were to kill him, as slow and painful as Harley suggested, the Joker would care. He'd probably laugh. Because in a lot of versions of the Joker, the ultimate goal is to get Batman to kill him. Well, not necessarily to kill him, but if he kills him, he still doesn't lose. You know what I mean? He obviously doesn't want to die, but it's still quite funny if Batman does end up killing him, because, you know, he said he wouldn't. And that's part of the game. And the game's over, but Joker wins, and Batman knows that, and that's why he doesn't kill him. Because the whole Batman-Joker dynamic feels like Batman is the dad and Joker is the kid. and the kid's being naughty, and you're like, no, don't do that. Don't you do that. It's like a really expensive vase at the museum. You're like, no, don't knock it over. That is a really expensive historical artifact. Do not knock it over. And he just looks at you, and he's slowly pushing. And you say, no, don't you do it. Don't you do it. Don't you do it. And he's like, and just pushes it over. And then he goes to the next vase next to it, and he's like, I'm gonna push this one over. And Batman's like, the dad, he's like, if you knock this over, I'm not gonna give you dinner. Obviously he's gonna give him dinner, he's not gonna starve his kid. But like, that's what I'm saying, it's an empty threat. We know that, the Joker knows that, so he pushes the second one over anyway. And he's laughing about it. And then Batman would be like, alright, son, you're not having any dinner now. But you know he's not gonna go through for it. Like, he needs his dinner and he's going to give it to him. He's not going to starve him. That's sort of how the dynamic is. Batman's full of empty threats to try and get someone to stop doing something. Joker knows it's an empty threat, like that kid knows. Because he knows Batman's not going to do anything like that. Anything that could hurt the Joker, the Batman's not going to do. And even the stuff that could potentially hurt the Joker probably won't even bother him that much. The most important thing for the Joker is not to be forgotten about or outdone by another criminal. He wants to be the one and only. Which is why I hate the idea of different Jokers or fake Jokers in Gotham and stuff inspiring the Joker. Or just different versions of the Joker, like the comic series, The Free Joker. So I'm still not too sure how I feel about that one. I've read it. And it was better than I was expecting, because I really don't like the idea of more than one Joker. But I still don't like the idea of more than one Joker. Do you know what I mean? It feels like he's unique. More unique than a lot of the other villains. And I just don't see him being inspired by someone else, because he wants to be the best. He wants to show that he is the one and only. Other people could be like him. He tries to show that as well. Yes, he wants people to be like him, but he doesn't want people to replace him. He doesn't want to be outdone. He wants to be the leader of everyone and say that everyone could be as horrible and messed up as he is, but he wants to be in control of that. He wants to show that it just takes one bad day to fall into madness, but he just wants to be the king of madness. So I think it's very interesting that the Joker acted in that way. I think it actually got to him. I don't think that was a fake, playful reaction. I do think Batman got to him there. And then I think because of the long pause, he was thinking about it, and he's like, I'm letting my emotion out here, I'm not. Maybe he reassured himself with what happened with Harley's death or something. And he's like, you almost got me, but you know, you're trying to beat me at my own game and I'm the master at this game. So you almost got me, but you just didn't. And then he starts laughing. And he did keep his laugh. You know, Jeremy John said he doesn't think he could keep his laugh, but he did. And I'm quite happy about it. It felt a little bit different. To me, it fit, and I did like it. So I'm glad that they kept it anyway. His voice just sort of sounds like Jared Leto, and I don't have a problem with that. You know, it sounded good. Because he doesn't necessarily have to do a different voice to do like a Joker voice. It's just the way he talks is important. He didn't say the meme, we live in a society. So obviously, that was just the meme in the trailer. And I think it's probably better that they didn't put that in there. I watched an interview with Zack Snyder and Jared Leto before doing this video, because I wanted to sort of compile my thoughts and make sure I had an idea of what I was going to say. Even though I didn't take notes, I preferred just going out it. I still wanted to plan it in a way, you know? Or have an outline, but without taking notes, because then I'm all worried about what to say, then it coming naturally, if that makes sense. And Zack Snyder said that was an ad-lib from Jared Leto about living in a society, and he said the same thing, that he really fought for it and Zack didn't really want it in there. So I guess he humoured him by putting it in the trailer. I think it was good as well because it also didn't spoil what he was saying, because if they had some of the lines from that scene, it might have spoiled too much about that scene. So I don't know how Jared Leto feels about that being taken out. I don't really know how other people feel about it. I haven't really seen if people like this. I do. I like what the talk says. No, I don't think it redeems the Suicide Squad version because it's just a really small scene. but it's a good start, you know? And I would describe it as you're going out for a meal to this nice restaurant. It's got good reviews. It's the first time you're going there. People are saying, oh, how great it is and stuff. That's the trailer for Suicide Squad. And then you have your main meal. You're having steak, eggs, and chips. And they forget the egg. The steak's chewy and it's really hard to cut. And it's cold. The chips are unsalted. There's no salt on your table. And they're cold too. That's Suicide Squad. And then you see that some other people had reviews like that after they actually went to try it. That's Suicide Squad. And then the Snyder Cut trailer comes out, and that's sort of like other reviews saying, oh yeah, it's really good. It's improved from when you last seen, for the Joker specifically. I know that's the census with Justice League as a whole, but I haven't seen the original, so I can't comment on that. And then you're like, okay, I'll have a starter this time. And you know, you're just having some soup and you're sipping it, and it's like tomato soup or whatever you like. And you're like, okay, it's warm. It tastes good, it's very smooth, it's easy. And it's the sort of starter that makes you hungry for more. Like, it sounds weird because it would obviously fill you up a little bit, but it sets you up for wanting more. You don't know if the main meal's going to be good again, because that was the problem last time. The starter is good, you want more, you're like, this is good. So let's see what the main will be like. Let's give it another try. And that would be if we see the Joker going forward from Jared Leto in another Justice League film, Joker film, Batman film, Joker and Harley Quinn film, whatever it is. It's a good start. It doesn't redeem his performance in Suicide Squad. That is bad, and it will always be bad. I think even if they do the original cut, it might be bad. If they do more of this Joker vibe in the future, then I think we're on for a winner. And the steak might be good, it might be how you like it, it's easy to cut, it's not chewy, the egg's there, it's all warm. Chips are lovely, you know, like they're cut fresh from potatoes. They had potatoes that day, you know, just brought in from the farm. And you're like, this was good. That first time, that was a goof, you know. And then you want the dessert, and the dessert would be him killing Robin. And I'm like, this was good, but that's the icing on the cake. His costume was quite cool actually, with the mask and the yellow gloves they said about, and it was all ripped. It was very cool. And the badges looked good. There was quite a few badges. Not like loads, but it felt like there was enough. It wasn't loads because it could look too much and sort of like all blinged out in police badges and stuff. Or there's too much going on. There was just enough to show that he did kill quite a few GCPD cops, maybe Metropolis cops as well, I don't know. He killed a lot of cops, so it's not too little to act like, you know, he didn't really kill that many. There was quite a few, you know, about 10. Maybe he's restricting to his trophies as being like high up cops, like, you know, like there's more satisfaction in killing them. Gordon, maybe. People like that. So yeah, I agree, it doesn't redeem the previous version of the Joker by Jared Leto, but it's a good start. It's a good taster. I like the taste of this flavour of Joker, and I want more. I'm hungry for more. It has definitely whet my appetite. But I also like that they're making the Joker a key element. He's not the most important character in this whole nightmare stuff, but he is one important character. He's not the main villain, but he is still a villain. You know, he still has his time to shine. Now, did Joker kill Lois? I don't know. The Joker could still be the reason Lois died by doing whatever he's doing, and Batman's concentrating and focused on catching the Joker, and then Lois dies, sort of like on his watch. And Superman will be like, well, why was you chasing the Joker? You always chase this guy. You could have saved Lois. Because it's important that she's dead in the Batcave. And you can see the Robin suit, you know, with the haha jokes on you, Batman. You can see that suit. Joker possibly did kill her. He's killed her in the past. You know, spoilers for Injustice the Game. I'm pretty sure he somehow managed to control Superman and forced him to kill his wife and kid. And then when he got back in control of himself, he just killed the Joker. Like, he just straight up punched, like, his fists through his chest. And he was like, Batman, why'd you keep him alive? Like, a lot of heroes don't understand why he doesn't just kill him. If you don't want to kill people, that's fine. But he's, like, the exception to the rule. Like, he is so bad. You can't redeem him. He has to go. So then he would obviously be angry at Batman for that. Perhaps Superman killed Harley, which is why Joker is angry at Superman. And maybe why Harley's angry at the Joker, because the Joker caused Lois's death in some way. It doesn't mean he was necessarily there, but he might have set it up and planned it. And then, obviously, Harley being associated with the Joker, Superman being completely angry and bad after losing everything for Anakin Skywalker, kills Harley. Harley's like, it's Joker's fault, you gotta kill him painfully because he did this, he's caused all of this. Even if he didn't like directly cause it, the stuff he did cause it. And maybe that's why Joker is willing to help stop Superman because of what he did to Harley. Because you get a feeling that he doesn't care if Harley dies in a way, but then he sort of does at the same time. Like, it's like, if anyone would kill Harley, I want it to be me. Sort of like when you're being horrible to your siblings and then some other kids are being horrible to your siblings. You're like, no, you can't be horrible to my siblings, but I can. They're saying the same things you are, but you're like, no, they're my siblings, I can say this. You can't. You're not part of this family. It's that sort of thing. So I was very impressed overall. I think that his acting was good. There was a few things that is a bit like, that's a bit like the old Suicide Squad Joker, like the cojones thing, and it didn't even sound like he said that. It sounded like he said cone mayonnaise. That's what I heard, because you don't have cone mayonnaise. I was like, that's what it sounded like to me. Maybe my hearing's just off, but I was like, you're saying, oh, I wonder how many different wills have been destroyed in different timelines because you don't have cone mayonnaise to die yourself. And I was like, what? What's cone mayonnaise? Why does he have cone mayonnaise to die? What's cone mayonnaise? Well, I think it's definitely a step in the right direction. I do want to see more. However, I was a bit disappointed in watching it because I was expecting him to talk about in explicit detail how he killed Robin, and we didn't get that. Maybe that's my fault for thinking that we were going to get that. I might have misinterpreted it. And also, you never see where they are in the pictures that they released, the black and white ones. I get that they're just set pictures for hype, but I do feel like that scene was a bit overhyped. It was at the end of the trailer, and it's right at the end of the film. The film's good, but throughout most of it, I was like, okay, so where's the Joker scene? Where's the Joker scene? When's the Joker scene? Because I'm my biased towards the Joker. I'm like, where is it? I'm waiting for it. Where is it? Don't tease me like this. And then it's right at the end. I sort of expected it before because I thought it was like a warning. I get it now, but it's a warning for a different thing, so that's why it's at the end. Now going back to my theory from earlier, thinking about it a bit more, it doesn't necessarily make sense in a way, because Superman's already there before they're at the Hall of Justice, and like I said, I don't think Superman would let them live. But let's just imagine that somehow they do escape. I doubt they could beat him in a fight, even all of them there. As powerful as some of them are, I doubt they could beat Superman, to be honest. He is pretty overpowered. But maybe the Joker has some sort of information or a key, or he knows about like a weakness that he can exploit with Superman, and so they can just get away. Or maybe they could defeat him if, say, they have kryptonite. Because I don't know much about kryptonite, if like only a little piece would kill Superman, or if it would just hinder him in a way, just stop him in his tracks. Or maybe it's like a higher dosage of kryptonite that would actually really do harm to him and cause him to die or something, But I feel like, they've been around for a while now. I'm pretty sure, like I said, I haven't seen Batman vs Superman, so I don't know if Batman explored it in that film, but I'm pretty sure Batman or Joker or Deathstroke would have kryptonite, or know that kryptonite is Superman's weakness out of everyone. But I also think Cyborg would know, because he's like connected to the whole internet and stuff, and it's quite easy for him to find information. So if that information is known by anyone, he would be able to find it. But let's just say they escape somehow, defeat Superman. I doubt they would kill him. But then from the Joker card being rigged, it sounds like if they are linked and the end scene was before that middle scene but after the scene where they're in the Batcave and Lois is dead, you see what I'm getting at here? I think it's all the same thing but all split up. So let's just say they defeat Superman. If you think that is likely or not, they escape from him. Yeah, because it could still happen, as far-fetched as you might think it is. It doesn't necessarily have to be two different things. So I would believe that maybe Joker doesn't keep his word, even though he normally does keep his word about things. You know, he might not keep his word. He might annoy the gang too much. You know, probably Batman, but maybe other members of the group as well. So, you know, Joker just pushes the buttons too much and he goes a bit too far for them to deal with. And they think that having him to help them isn't as worth it as they originally thought. So Batman rips the card, and then Joker describes in great detail what he did to Robin, which then pushes Batman over the edge to actually kill the Joker. And then it all unfolds. I assume they would be at the Hall of Justice at that point because, you know, everything is there in that sort of vision or flash forward, whatever you want to call it. Then Superman would come and kill the rest of them. Do you see what I'm saying? I know there's like a Green Lantern guy there and he wasn't in the other bit, but you know, you don't know how much time has passed from then to then. I'm just saying it could still be linked. It was just a theory in my mind that I just thought of while I was recording it. And I know there's some things that might not necessarily make sense, but I think there are a few ways around it that could, even if you think it is a bit lazy or cheap or a bit unrealistic. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, this video is a lot longer than I expected it to be. I think I covered everything of my thoughts and opinions in my mind. So hit the like button if you enjoyed, dislike it if you didn't, comment down below your thoughts and opinions, subscribe if you're new, hit the ding dong notification bell to stay updated when I post a new video, and share it to your friends, family and frenemies if you think they'll like this content. I want you to watch more movies and shows. Hopefully I'll see you in the next video. Bye.